Hello, Warrior family, and we wanted to take the chance to provide you more information about 2 ballot questions we will have on the April 8th ballot. All right, now let's dig into that levy transfer question. Anytime the school district's going to go after and ask the voters to approve funds for their district, I think it's important that we always go back and look at what is our mission and what are our core values. Our mission statement was readopted during the 2023 strategic planning process. Our core values changed pretty dramatically. Before we had about 20 core values, and now we've narrowed that down to the list that's in front of you. These are always things that we need to come back to and remember as a district whenever we have a bond initiative. Over the last 2 years, our Board of Education has made great strides in ensuring that we focus and we remain focused on what our goals are. This is the blueprint which we have used over the last 2 years. Every summer, usually during the month of June, our board adopts what our focuses will be, then our administration goes back and makes the goals for us to determine what we're going to focus on each year. Some of these goals you will see year after year, others may fall off as they become operational within our district. There are 2 pieces in here that I would like to draw our attention to. One, our certified salary committee has had a goal for us to be a top paying district. For us, that means being in the top 10 of the 22 regional Kansas City districts according to the NEA survey. We continue to make progress in that, and there'll be more information coming in the next slides. The other one I would like to draw your attention to is prioritizing students in the classroom. We have done this by the board creating a finance board committee which meets monthly before our board meetings, and what we want to ensure is that whatever we say our goals are, that's where our money goes. One of the questions that frequently comes up is what about the data center revenue? You can see on this slide the pilot payments that have come in have been much lower than anticipated. While we are excited to see them increase, we still anticipate this being a slower process. We would like to thank Clay County and Kansas City for being good partners as we continue to work with them to secure what our pilot payments are. And I would like to thank Nathan Willett in particular, the Kansas City councilman, who's done a lot of work on our behalf as well as all the other taxing jurisdictions to help us out. So right now we're going to talk specifically about that levy transfer, but we wanted to kind of share the purpose of both. When we talk about levies, we talk about people, investing in our people with compensation, benefits, adding additional staff. When we talk about bonds, we talk about buildings. Those are 2 different buckets of money that we use very differently. Our bond money cannot be used for salaries and can only be used for buildings, and our levy is how we provide supplies, but in particular, where we invest in our staff with benefits, with salaries, and with additional staffing as we continue to grow. Let's dig in a little bit more to the levy transfer. What we are asking the community to consider is for us to transfer 30 cents out of our debt service levy into our operating levy so we can focus on our goal of being a top paying district, continuing to attract and retain the highest quality staff, as well as identify additional staffing needs, whether that's for class size or safety. We believe that 30 cents will generate approximately $1.2 million. As I shared earlier, we have a goal of being in the top 10 of the 22 Kansas City regional school districts. We have certainly made progress over the last couple years, but we want to continue to make progress to get us in that top 10 as we look at our beginning teacher salary, our master's plus 10, as well as the top of our pay scale. This 30-cent transfer levy would help us continue towards reaching that goal. And being a top paying school district would only match the tremendous results that our students achieve with our teachers and support staff, helping them reach their full academic potential. This last year, we were the top performing district in the Kansas City area when looking at our results from the Missouri Assessment Program. It is something we are certainly proud of and something we always look to do each and every year. This is the specific ballot language for the levy transfer. We share this with you because it can be really confusing. At the top, this is statutory language that we are required to ask. And what we are asking is to raise our operating levy by 30 cents. That is what the first paragraph discusses. And then that second paragraph shares that we would reduce our debt service levy by 30 cents. Therefore, keeping our total levy the same, which currently is $4.7504, it would remain at $4.7504 per $100 of assessed valuation. It is important that we read both of those lines. These are questions that Platte County, Liberty School District, North Kansas City, and Lee Summit have all done over the last couple of years, following the same language as well. We want to make sure that our community knows that anything that we would increase for our operating levy, we would offset by decreasing our debt service levy. When comparing our levy to what we call the Northland 6, we are tremendous value for our community, and we try to always be very specific with what we allocate our dollars to. And we are great value while still beating all of them with our Missouri Assessment Program results. We have also reduced our levy over the last years. We follow the Hancock Amendment, which does cause us to raise or lower our levy based on our assessed valuation, and we want to always be very diligent with any dollars that we receive from our community. And we are not asking for any of this to increase, but just want our levy to remain the same. All right, let's get into the details of what a levy transfer is. We're going to go over the 4 funds that all public schools in Missouri use for operating their school district. As we go through, we're going to pour rice so that way we can understand what does that 47504 mean for each of these 4 funds. Our first fund is where we use the majority of our expenses. It is called our Fund 1, our operating fund. Sometimes it is also known as our incidental fund. But what we'll do is we'll go ahead and show that we levy $2.1341 into that each year based on our current levy. Another way to describe our Fund 1 is it is our checking account. It is our most flexible fund that we can use for any of our expenses. We transfer money to Fund 2 each year out of Fund 1, and we can also transfer money to Fund 4 each year depending if we need to. It is kind of our Swiss Army knife of funds. Fund 2 is a very specific fund. By state statute, we are required to code all compensation and benefits for our certified salaries. So if we have a staff member that is required to have a certification for their position per the state of Missouri, we code all of their salaries and benefits to this fund. We currently levy $105 into this levy, and again, we do transfer from 1 to 2 each year. School districts are able to levy whatever they want into Fund 2. For instance, Platte County, our neighbor, levies 0 cents into Fund 2. Instead, they levy everything into Fund 1 and just transfer each year. We have chosen to levy into Fund 2. Fund 3 is our most restrictive levy. It can only be used to pay back bond debt. So every year we levy enough dollars and cents into that levy to ensure that we pay our current debt as well as any future debt we anticipate. It is very specific and can only be used for bond debt. Fund 4 is also another restrictive fund. It is our capital projects fund. So any item that costs more than $1,000 for that one item, we are required statutorily to code to our Fund 4. You can think of that as any type of large equipment, our band equipment, any vehicles that we would need to buy for the district. Anything that we spend over $1,000 is always coded into our capital Fund 4. And we currently levy 35 cents into there. All right, let's talk about what that transfer is. What we are asking the community to consider is taking 30 cents out of our Fund 3 and putting it into our operating fund, which would give us the ability to transfer into any of those other 3 buckets. But that 30 cents, that would create $1.2 million, we would use on salaries and benefits, which all of those funds would be going into Fund 1 and Fund 2. That would ensure that we continue to reach that goal of being a top 10 paying district of the 22 regional districts and ensuring that we have great staff for our students. So as we re-look at that levy transfer question, you can see the bolded part where we're increasing our operating levy by that 30 cents. We are also reducing our debt service by an equal amount. So that way we remain with a no net increase of $475.04. One of the questions that comes up regarding this is, does this just mean you're paying your debt slower or that you're going to stop paying debt? That is not correct. We will actually continue to pay our debt at the current rate as well as accelerate when we can. And this is not only for our current debt, but any future debt we would be issuing, we can pay with that 91 cents that would be remaining in Fund 3. Now, take a moment, think in your head, how would you explain this to a neighbor if they were to stop you about the levy transfer? A way to describe the levy transfer is we are asking to shift 30 cents from our debt service levy, which will not impact our current or future debt payments, to our operating levy so we can focus those funds on salary and benefits, retaining and hiring excellent staff, as well as reducing class sizes and adding additional staff. One of the things that we want to share is a lot of people ask, if this doesn't pass, will my levy go down 30 cents? Please know that is not the case. We're just asking to shift this levy from one to the other. As always, please feel free to reach out with any questions. We want to ensure that we are providing all the information we can before April 8th. Our website is a great place to learn more about these two questions, as well as give us feedback if we need to continue to add questions to our FAQ. And as always, it's a great day to be a warrior.